Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your pain, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome back to another episode of Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I'm here with the one and only Alex, dressed up as Klay Thompson for Halloween. Very nice.
Yeah. Hey.
You even got the shooting sleeve on.
Yeah. Sadly, it's just a cheap little copper sleeve. I'm like the Walmart Klay Thompson.
Walmart Klay Thompson's pretty fitting for you. I mean, we really got to think of a better way to kind of have a name for you, but I mean, it's a good Halloween costume that you got going on today. So
yeah, it took me spending no money.
I can't tell if I'm lagging or if you're super lagging. Are you getting any issues on your end?
You were lagging a little bit earlier, but now it seems to be fine.
Okay, so it's all you then is currently lagging, at least on my end.
Like really bad?
Like real bad.
Oh no. How is this happening?
Why don't you leave and come back in? I'll go through some of the news here, and then I'll get your takes on it. We had the trade deadline today, and with that, there was a few trades that went through. None particularly to the offense, but there were some. What's up, Albert? All right, talk real quick, Alex.
Is it working?
So much better.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Recap here. Gonna run through them. The main ones. Bears trade for defensive end Montez Sweat for a second rounder. Shortly after, a couple hours later, the 49ers trade less for the Commanders' other defensive end, Chase Young. I'm kind of clueless on what Commanders' game plan is at this point. Not that they were like studs, but they were good players. They're good players, and Chase has just dealt with a lot of injuries through his first 3-4 years.
Yeah, you're banking on Chase is purely potential because he's just been injured the entire time.
Still just weird to send both of them, right? I mean,
they're not winning anything.
They spend a second on Chase Young.
Yeah.
Not a second round, second overall.
Yeah. But you're not – I mean, here's the thing. They're not going to – I mean, what's his contract?
It's his rookie contract. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, they don't want to pay him. You might as well get something out of him. This team isn't winning anything this year. So
I just would like to see a little bit more, I guess. I mean, I don't know. 1/3 isn't enough for me.
Yeah, but I just don't think I think everybody's to the point now where it's like defensive linemen coming out of college now are so dominant. And that's the first 3 rounds to where it's like, well, nobody really was going to pay him. Nobody wants to throw a first or second
something that
rounder.
Isn't talked about because it's definitely it's one of the cornerstone pieces of a team, right? You talk about the main points anymore. It's QB, defensive end, maybe arguably CB, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe safety, maybe, but really those 4 are the big pieces, right? That's the big 4 that teams go for. And I mean, not only is the defensive end getting more athletic and more strong, the offensive lines are just not keeping up. So it's making them look better as well.
Yeah, because I mean, I think players are realizing unless you are dominant like left tackle or center, you're going to get paid more being a defensive lineman.
We had Vikings trade for quarterback Joshua Dobbs, opening up the door for Clayton Tune or the Kyler Murray return. Dum, bum, bum.
Dun,
I
dun, dun.
I find it hard to think that they're gonna just roll Kyler Murray out there with one win. Bears down.
I don't think they do this week. I think next week they do. I mean, as a franchise, you've got to figure out this is the guy or not. You know, there's this class next year. There's 3 really good quarterbacks coming out of this class, and not like 3 solid quarterbacks, like 3 really good QBs.
Who's your third?
Washington's QB, right?
Penix.
Yeah,
He worries me the most.
dude.
Caleb's starting to worry me a little bit.
But that's the thing. It's quarterbacks in college are going to have bad games because it's going to happen.
I feel it. Not to get us off topic, but I did want to go. I want to bounce back for a second because the Bears down thing made me realize this, right? Like the Bears are in no different situation, maybe even a little bit further back in their, rebuild than the Commanders. Yet they're one of the teams that traded for a defensive end. So I just find it funny. I know I just brought us back, but it would just remind me when I saw the Bears down. Lions trade for Donovan Peoples-Jones. You are freaking out. You're loving this. You're all in on DPJ. He's a Michigan receiver. You're ready to go. Jared Goff has one.
It's a great move for the Lions. The Browns don't know how to throw the ball with any quarterback they have. And you're going to have to target Amari Cooper, like you're paying him. Yeah. And they're not going to pay Donovan Peoples-Jones. It's a great signing. Jameson, we don't know for sure what he's going to end up being, but that offense is really good. And you're putting a receiver that has potential that we haven't really seen his ceiling yet. This is the best case scenario for DPJ.
Wrapping up some of the trades. Jaguars trade for offensive lineman Ezra Cleveland. Crazy. Didn't think offensive linemen got traded at the deadline. Bills trade for Rasul Douglas. Is that from Green Bay, right?
I think so.
Seahawks trade for Leonard Williams. They got a pretty good deal on him as well.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So those are some of the trades. Nothing crazy, but as expected. I feel like I've paid attention to trade deadline the most the past 3 or 4 years and got my hopes and dreams crushed every time. So this year I was expecting something along these lines. Felt nice to not feel crushed by the end of it. The game plan for today's episode, we're going to run through waiver wire. And by run through, I mean, we might kind of go on it quickly. A lot of the guys that we have been either advocating for, or you're going to tell us they're not in your league. So there's a lot of things here. There's no like secret gems, maybe a couple, but most of these guys are either going to be picked up in your league already, or if not, keep them on your radar kind of thing. Right.
Yeah.
We're also going to cover some halfway point stuff. Excited to get into that. Some biggest surprises, some biggest losers, just kind of we're at the exact halfway point of the season right now. We're after week 8, before week 9. So kind of seeing where we're at with all of the players and who we like the most, who's big buy halfway through, who's big sell high halfway through. So with that being said, let's get into some waiver wire additions. Let's talk QBs. We have a couple on this list. I'm going to hit my first 2, and then I have 2 questions for you. So Kyler Murray, if he's out there, right? Kind of expecting him. I don't know if I expect him to play this week. You said it yourself. They kind of want to see what they have with them. Maybe they want to show other teams like, hey, he's healthy for the offseason, right? Want to show this that he can play. We might ship him. Depends
I don't think it's happening.
It's possible. So if he's out there, I'd definitely go snag him. I mean, you're looking at a production dip in his rushing production, but they got some weapons. Trey McBride, Hollywood Brown. Josh Dobbs did fine there.
Yeah, he was Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah. Startable. And there's this guy with a lot better arm talent. Probably won't do as much
I
as
think
as on the legs as Dobbs did until maybe if he starts now, maybe at the end of the season, maybe.
I think Dobbs, is more of an athlete in Brissett, but arm talent wise, I don't think there's much difference
Well, I was talking about Kyler.
compared to Dobbs.
Yes.
No, Kyler's drastically better.
I said his arm talent would be better.
I think he's a drastically better quarterback.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't think he'll run as much as Dobbs did.
Definitely
not
not
for the first couple
out.
games.
Yeah, no.
I could see him finishing the season with like I don't think it makes sense to even rush the ball that much this season at all at this point.
Yeah, I think there's not going to be design runs, but I think as soon as he feels comfortable with his knee, he's going to move out. He's going to take off.
So if he's out there, I know a lot of people stashed him. A lot of people had IR spots to plug him on, but if he's out there, he's definitely somebody I'm targeting. Another person that I'm interested in. This is deeper leagues. Gardner Minshew. He's got a lot of weapons surrounding him. This main point is he's got a lot of weapons surrounding him, and he rips it. He rips it. He's like the
roller
old
coaster
school
ride with him. But
it will be.
You're gonna have fun weeks.
Go ahead with some of yours that you had on the list for QBs.
Well, you took one of mine away, so I'll let you talk about it. But Dobbs, to the fact of, he's going to a team that if Justin Jefferson comes back with Addison, KJ, Hawk, that O-line's pretty solid. They're going to be behind in games most of the time to where Dobbs could really be pretty solid, especially like if you're in, 2 QB leagues. He's definitely somebody that I'm looking at. Sam Howell, the dude is going to throw a ton every single game, and he's going to have some mistakes, but they've got weapons, and he's looked pretty good. And what is he, like QB 8 right now?
He's dominating,
and he's still available.
As far as
somehow.
like for fantasy, he is dominating.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like there's still people who are like too worried to start him or even roster him.
Yeah,
he's got a ton of upside. And then surprisingly, I don't even think he's that great. Is Derek Carr is just there's parts of the offense that are starting to make sense, and Kamara, with him being back, it's going to continue to open up that offense. I think Chris Olave finishes strong. Michael Thomas looked pretty solid last game. They're throwing the deep ball pretty well. He's a guy to watch out for. He could end up finishing, the rest of the season in that QB 10, QB 12.
Dude, we'll talk more about Kamara later, but Derek Carr, I'm not as excited for Derek Carr, but I have drastically started disliking him as a player. Just watching his body language has really turned me off as to watch him. It annoys the shit out of me. I don't care whose fault it is. But yeah, he does. He looks at Kamara a lot, and we'll talk more about that here shortly. But I did see this comment come through. I'm 7-1, just traded away Pollard, Jefferson, Flowers, and Addison. Whew. For Hill, Monty, and Downs. Thoughts?
You got Hill. You win.
Yeah, if Kirk was still there, it would be tougher. But you're getting rid of 2 Minnesota Vikings wide receivers.
Yeah.
I think Pollard's kind of a buy low, but I also think Monty was kind of a buy low. You got the best player. You're gonna have the best player.
Yeah, you're gonna have the best.
You gave up a lot though, Duffy. You gave up a lot.
Yeah, you gave up a lot, but the Detroit
really gonna hurt
Lions
if
are
Tyreek gets hurt or
making
something.
moves where I think Gibbs gets more touches going forward, but Monty's still going to be involved, and he's going to get your goal line to where you're still going to start him every week. And Downs has great chemistry with Gardner.
He does.
So that's a win. Yeah, if you're getting Tyreek Hill, you're cool because Pollard isn't really that reliable. Jefferson, you don't know. Flowers is solid, and Addison Jefferson, you're not going to know what the rest of the season looks like.
Duffy, you have all the Vikings, huh? You have
all right,
Madison
Duffy,
on
I just
there
have a
somewhere,
question. Are you in a 10-person league?
He's got to be. That's going to be 8 to 10.
Either that or maybe you're playing with some newbies because, yeah, if you have Amon-Ra and Hill and DJ.
And London's been turning up.
Yeah, but, the Amon-Ra, DJ, and Hill, you have 3 top 5, something like that.
Yeah, DJ Moore's is so freaking misleading, though. I'm not hating. I'm just
Yeah.
Just,
Well, definitely, yeah, that makes sense. 10 people, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I think we both like it. I think you paid a lot, and you just got to hope Hill stay. You got the best player, and I think Monty is kind of a sneaky player because as much as people are looking at Gibbs last
His
night,
stock is dropping the last 2 weeks.
that's what I'm saying. That's exactly. I think it's a sneaky buy right now, Monty, because I don't think this is Gibbs' backfield. We know.
No, he did what they needed him to do, but they're also like, we don't need him to do that going forward.
Pollard is not producing. It's Mike.
He's
McCarthy.
Not going to produce. I don't think it happens.
Mike McCarthy. I that's the thing. I think he's a buy low if it's a good cost, but most Pollard owners wouldn't let it be a buy low because I wasn't necessarily.
He's good.
I was just really worried about Dallas this year. All right, so two other guys that I wanted to talk about for QBs: Taylor Heineke and Will Levis. Are those guys you're targeting in a normal 12-team redraft league?
Heineke, probably not. I don't know how much better he will be than Ritter. I think he'll throw a little bit more, but I don't know.
So many weapons, dude. There's so many weapons.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, he had the same weapon Sam Howell had. And then Will Levis.
He did fine, right?
He did. I mean, he did so
even
okay.
For fantasy.
He did so okay that they got Jacoby Brissett, who is also just so okay. So I'm not excited. I'm hopeful. I'm trying to get Kyle Pitts in a lot of leagues right now because it can't get worse for Kyle Pitts. Honestly, it really can't. So I would.
Heineke top 12 QBs 2 out of about 8 weeks last season.
Yeah, it's very okay. The rest of them, yeah, don't love them. Levis, I would love to roster
in a redraft, 12
in a redraft.
I think I'm passing on that one.
You don't know what it's going to turn into. There's so many if you have like a QB 8, 9, 10, that's who you're starting. Pick up Will Levis. I'm not saying start him next week, but at this point, this dude could be the truth. We could be watching, Pat Mahomes come up.
Stop, Alex. Come on.
Not like Pat Mahomes, like him actually be, but I'm saying like this could be a guy who has just crazy arm talent, and within a few games, like this guy's the truth. He looked good. He looked really good.
There was one pass that looked really good.
Oh, shut up.
That's the truth.
He had 3 passes while being pressured that were bombs.
Dude, D-Hop had to come back on one of them.
Yeah.
And D-Hop was getting like 7 yards of separation. I mean, you're overhyping it a little too much. But one pass, the Westbrook, that pass was flawless, and it looked effortless.
You're not going to throw. Here's the thing. Pat Mahomes doesn't throw perfect balls all the time, but what he does do is when he sees one-on-one matchups, he's throwing it up there. It doesn't always have to be the prettiest ball. You've got to let your best player get the ball.
No, I agree. I understand that.
But him making the read, seeing one-on-one coverage, and making a chance, that's a great throw right off the bat. If it's in the area, awesome throw.
But he made those. It was the touchdown throws. But a lot of his throws weren't
other good throws.
There was a lot of bad ones too.
Yeah,
there was.
He had some bad throws for sure.
He's a rookie. I'm not trying to take away from it. I just don't. I think this is very much Atlanta had no concerns. They didn't even know what quarterback they were going to face. I just think this came out of left field. They didn't expect Vrabel to do that. I mean, Vrabel is the type of coach that would probably would run Derrick Henry 30. They game planned incredibly wrong for this game, and I think it just bit them in the ass. That's like the amount of separation D-Hop was getting on a pretty solid defense. I don't think that happens, and I don't think it happens. Levis could have a good stretch, maybe, but I still he would have to significantly improve because He's the perfect type of quarterback that like you're gonna get tape on him. Like, yeah, this is easy. We just have to keep some safeties back a little bit, and we'll be fine.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I definitely think he's worth. Like I said, I'm not starting him, but I'm rostering him to see what happens.
I understand it in Dynasty, but he's probably not dropped in Dynasty. Oh, that's a good stat Albert brings up. Mariota also threw for 4 touchdowns his first start for the Titans.
Yeah, I don't care.
Mariota's probably better than Levis.
Peyton Manning threw, 4 picks in his first game. I don't care.
No, he didn't.
Bro, Peyton Manning led.
He threw a lot of picks that season.
He led the league in interceptions.
It wasn't 4 the first game, is what I'm saying.
27. Or he threw like 27
I understand.
picks.
I get you, but he didn't throw 4 the first game.
I'm just saying in his rookie season, he had multiple games with multiple interceptions.
Why isn't Peyton Manning in sleeper, but Drew Brees is? What is this?
What do you mean?
I guess he retired a long time ago compared to Drew Brees. All right, let's talk some RBs while you look up to see how many interceptions he had his first week. Some RBs. I'm going to kind of run through these as a list style. Are you cool with that instead of just stopping on each? Because I really want to get into our second half of this. Some RBs that I'm looking for in competitive, but are unlikely to be available in competitive leagues. Zach Charbonnet. I know you hate this. I know you do. And I know you could say that Kenneth Walker was banged up, but he was removed from that injury report. Zach Charbonnet is getting more involved in this offense than I was ever expecting. I would absolutely, if he's out on the waiver, add him because not only is he a handcuff, but is he getting more? Is he going to be involved in this offense more? We could come back to it, but I'm just going to run through the list. Roshan is a guy that I want to see. Also check for a dropped Khalil Herbert because I actually think this is back to Khalil Herbert's backfield once he comes back. Darrell Henderson, check for a dropped Kyren. I doubt there will be a dropped Kyren Williams. I think there's a possibility there's a dropped Khalil. Doubt there's a dropped Kyren. But if either of those guys were dropped, pick them up. They're coming close to, I think we're 2 weeks from Kyren, 1 week from Khalil. Chuba Hubbard, new play caller in Carolina. Looks like it's his backfield. Amari DiMercado. Arizona loves to do whatever the hell they want with this poor running back. Sometimes they want to run him. Sometimes they don't. Thing is, he's a 1 week rental, but if you need him for the week, I actually think he's a plug and play. They gave him the rock 20 times last week. And deeper league stash. I mentioned this in our Discord, Alex Pierre Strong. Dude runs so well, and I think he just sucks at blocking. I think he's just absolutely terrible at blocking.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, teach the man to block.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the Patriots got rid of him. You can't block, you can't play.
I think this is why he's not on the field for the Browns quite a bit. It has to be.
Yeah.
Well, undersized in that area.
Yeah.
And you want to touch base on before we get to your 3 there?
2 things, because I agree with pretty much what you're saying. Charbonnet, I think he gets a little bit more involved, but I wouldn't be worried if you're Kenneth Walker owners. They're going to try to, keep Walker as healthy as they can. He's the guy still. And Chuba Hubbard, I'm going to be honest, I don't want anything to do with this backfield. Miles Sanders was still injured last week, but he was healthy. They didn't give him anything, and Hubbard looked terrible to where I don't want anything to do with this backfield. I don't see any of them being efficient or even worth having starting in any lineup any week.
No, I actually am a pretty big advocate for hating on Hubbard. I don't think he's a very good RB, but if they are going to give him the rock, I want the volume. I mean, Amari DiMercado sometimes looks good, sometimes doesn't look very good. He's a rookie though, but it's about the work when it comes to RB position. I want the guys that are getting the work.
Yeah.
And you can even argue the same when you throw out these names that you're going to throw out.
Oh yeah.
That it's all about work, and yours are nasty too. It's slim pickings at RB on the waiver list.
Yeah, let's be honest. There's nothing crazy's happened recently to be like, oh, this guy is going to be everything you're doing is handcuffs. You're hoping for, Mine, Lenny Fournette. I mean, just because he's on the squad, roster him. You're handcuffing James Cook. I feel like he's been getting less involved in the running game every week. But Lenny's worth rostering, just to have on your roster. K-Makers looks drastically better than Mattinson, to where I think at some point, and with the new offense moving forward with Josh Dobbs, I think he ends up taking the RB1 role completely away. I think it just takes a couple more weeks. Devin Singletary, that backfield isn't great. Pierce looked a little bit better last week, but that backfield's pretty trash.
He's been pretty bad too, though.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. They're still getting almost a 50-50 snap.
It has been, yeah. He's out. He's out there too. Singletary is out there. Honestly, yeah. I would say Singletary is out in more leagues than Fournette, probably.
Yeah, and with Singletary, it is a handcuff to where if anything does happen to Pierce for any reason, he'll get a ton of touches in that offense. I mean, like what you touch, I want the running back with touches. Singletary, you're going to want a roster because since they are doing a 50-50 split, if he has a couple weeks in a row where he looks drastically better than Pierce, there's no reason for them not to give it to him.
I like it. I think Singletary is a sneaky stash. Fournette is a very much a red zone dependent, but like that, he could be a fill-in guy for you. I mean, RB 18 to 24 has been tough anyways. Let's get to some wide receivers. Again, I'm going to kind of run through these as a list. Unfortunately, my list consists of a ton of rookies. I'm going to name them kind of fast. If Tank Dell is out there, he might have been dropped from his injury plus a bad performance last week. I actually think he has a really good week coming up. I also think CJ Stroud, him, and Nico are just going to all kind of start eating together as the season goes on. I think they're going to have a little nice little second half push. I think Tank Dell is my number one, if he's out there, wide receiver priority. Only thing that obviously scares me is he might be the smallest player in the league. Behind Tutu Atwell, maybe. Rashee Rice is another guy that I'm looking for in leagues. I think he is going to have to kind of play a bigger role in this offense. They need a number one. I think this was the first week that he started leading all wide receivers in snaps. We're seeing the change happen. It's happening. Demario Douglas, this probably also known as Pop Douglas, this probably makes your heart happy. What's up, Mark Moran? Demario Douglas, the news that Kendrick Bourne is out for a year, or Mac Jones has got to sling the ball somewhere, right?
God, I hate it.
Demario has actually looked pretty solid.
Yeah, I like him, but it's just another receiver that we're going to say he's looked solid, and we have to rely on it to be the number one. It just sucks.
Jonathan Mingo. I want to put an emphasis on this. His role last week, I think he went 4 for 62. It was a new play caller. It was a week after a bye. Might see him more involved in this offense moving forward. I'm not saying he's going to overtake Thielen. I'm just saying maybe more as the number 2 guy. He's getting more chemistry with Bryce Young. He was a second-round pick. Probably a reach, but they're going to want to get him involved. Khalil Shakur, I put a question mark here. Do you think this was like a one-week wonder? I know he's been kind of heating up lately.
I would definitely roster him. I don't think.
Did you watch? Was it Thursday night's game?
Did they play Thursday?
I think it was Thursday because it was definitely a primetime game where they played Tampa Bay. He went 6 for 92.
Yeah. I mean, I'm rostering him. It's until you start seeing drastic drop off. It's like if he has a good week this week, you have to start him. You can't just say, hey, he's got 3 or 4 weeks that have been good recently and then not play him. Like if you're picking him up, you've got to play him at some point. I wouldn't hate playing him this week. There's buys this week. I wouldn't hate it plugging him in like a flex this week.
Yeah, I think that is it's unnerving to start a Buffalo Bill player. I've always kind of their trust issues, right? I mean, like they literally, you could start any of them outside of Diggs and obviously Allen, and Gabe
Davis has had huge games lately.
He's been a pretty solid receiver. I think he's probably a top 24
At
on
least.
the year. 25, 22 half
Yeah.
PPR.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's borderline been a wide, and recently he's been a wide receiver too.
Let's hear. You got some wide receivers that you had on your list as well.
Jahan Dotson. I think from previous weeks he's been dropped. They're going to throw the ball a ton. They're not running the ball efficiently. I think he's a guy if he's available, you got to put on there. They're trying to figure out how to get him the ball, figure out ways. And I think they're going to get more away from the dumps to Curtis Samuel. They've been looking for Dotson a lot more in the red zone, so he's worth it. I don't know if anything happens, but at this point, it's not the worst person you could roster. Michael Wilson for the Cardinals, he honestly looks good. Him and Hollywood Brown could end up being a really good 1-2 punch when Kyler gets back. So I'd watch it. Kyler loved targeting DeAndre Hopkins. He needs a red zone guy. I think that's him and McBride and Ertz whenever he comes back. And then Brandon Cooks. The Cowboys don't look great. They can't run the ball. Gallup isn't the guy. And Brandon Cooks the last couple weeks is, score touchdown. So got to roster him. I don't know if I'm starting him yet, but you got to roster him.
No, I like all of these. I really do. Jahan Dotson is obviously he's been MIA all season. We finally saw a blow-up game last week. It was really nice because he needs to be involved.
Yeah.
He's a good wide receiver. Michael Wilson, somebody I didn't even think of. Great suggestion, though, because if you're getting Kyler Murray back, could really kind of take over on.
Yeah.
And they may want him to, right? This is Hollywood's contract year.
I think so.
They might. This might be something they want to see out of him as well. And then Brandon Cooks is. I just don't know how to feel about Dallas in general.
He's
Norton
been consistent the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, and hopefully they're in closer games where they need to throw a little bit more. Norton had this question, and he wanted to hear our thoughts on it. I got to choose one of Cam Akers, Royce Freeman, Antonio Gibson. You said Royce Freeman twice, Nort.
That's 2 times.
Who's the other person supposed to be? Because I want to know who the fourth is.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly, it's probably Royce Freeman for me right now. If we're talking for the week,
I'm going probably Cam Akers
for the week.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now I would go Royce.
Why?
Why would you go Cam?
I mean, he had
24 snaps.
Yeah, but he looked so much better than Madison last week.
He was 9 for 19. How much better did he look?
He looks better. He looks better. Royce Freeman is just. I mean, I get the argument for the week, but you know,
it's Roshan.
Oh yeah, not Roshan at all.
I honestly, it's probably Roshan. He has the most upside out of all those guys.
Nah, I'm going Cam, Royce, Roshan.
It's Roshan, Royce, Cam.
Nope. Yeah,
and Gibson. Gibson's off the list.
Yeah, drop him.
Another one was Darrell Henderson versus Jalen Warren versus Kareem Hunt. It probably goes Kareem, Warren. It probably goes. It probably goes. I hate this one. I think Kareem Hunt is who I would go with number one.
Yep, I agree. Kareem Hunt.
I don't know how to put 2 and 3 there. Probably Henderson 2, Jalen Warren 3. Warren might have the most upside for the rest of the season, though. I think maybe no Hunt does. Hunt does then, but between Darrell Henderson and Warren.
I would hate to have any of those backs because every week nobody knows. Don't want it.
All right. Last piece we had are some tight ends. I have on here, I'm going to make it real short and sweet because there's not much. Trey McBride, seen him out in a couple of my leagues. He's a definite add. He looked great. Best game of his career. I don't want to say it was the most targets or most receptions by a Cardinals tight end, something like that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Dalton Kincaid looked good. I didn't think we'd ever see it. Don't necessarily trust the week-to-week thing for Buffalo Bills.
He looks good.
both these guys lost their starting tight ends. I don't expect to see Ertz back this year and maybe permanently. I think they have an out on his contract. It's speculation. I get it. But McBride, I mean, I would be surprised if Ertz comes back for what? To finish a 4-13 season. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. So I like both these, and even, well, we might see Dawson Knox return because they're going to obviously be going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Go ahead with yours.
Bellinger, just because with Waller.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Darren Waller, the guy that you guys, I mean, he's new team, first target.
Yeah, he's been a beast. I know you want to make fun of him, but he's been tight end 5. Like, you can hate all you want, but when Waller's healthy, he's very good.
Let's not get carried away. The last 3 weeks he was very good. The first 4, not so good. The last 3 with Tyrod, great. The first 4 with Daniel Jones, not great. So let's not get too crazy.
Okay, so the first 4, he wasn't a top 10 most of those weeks.
No, tight end 19, tight end 4, tight end 25, tight end 26.
So he had a tight end 4 in there, which, I mean, with tight ends this year, I feel like besides 3 of them, this is what you're getting. Waller's great. You can try to deny it all you want. You want Bellinger because of him tweaking his hamstring. If he's out more than a week, this is a guy. If Tyrod's playing, you want him. You want Bellinger. There's not great tight ends available. You know, we were high on Mayer, and he didn't do shit last week.
We'll talk
just
more
with the
about
Giants not having shit, not having anybody to throw to. If you have Waller, try to get Bellinger, because if you have to play one this week, your options on your bench probably aren't great for tight end. And the other person is the guy I have on my team to back up Waller, and that's Hunter Henry. He has random big games.
I don't know why they've gone away from him. I don't get it. I don't know if defenses were like, well, they don't have any wide receivers. Let's kind of double lock him down.
They're in. They're playing in. I mean, they've just been playing in and forcing the Patriots to throw it outside. And the same issue we've had for 4 straight years now. We don't have any good receivers on the outside who are getting separation. And Kendrick Bourne was good getting separation through the middle. We have nobody right now. Yeah. It sucks. Again,
hopefully Pop Douglas can change that for you.
Yeah. We had the worst wide receiver core going into the season, and it just got worse.
Okay, so 2 thoughts. My concerns with Waller was all injury related, mostly. I said he only played, I can't remember. I had a stat. I mean, not a stat. It was a percentage.
Last 2 years,
it was
barely played.
50%. Yeah, 50% of last 2 seasons. Ben, my concern, not celebrating. It does come off that I'm victory lapping his injury. Sorry, not my thing. I just was nervous about Waller all season.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Taysom Hill? Definitely worth a roster spot. Weird that he went back to not being a part. Like, he had a great game last week again, but Jawan Johnson ended up running more routes and I think having a higher snap percentage.
He looks better. He just looks better than Williams at running back. And they're swinging him out from the backfield. They're
9 for 63 with 2 tutties.
Yeah, he just looks, honestly, he runs like a power running back.
So I think he's definitely worth a roster spot, but it's really like nobody can predict what his stat like. Exactly. I don't think there's any fantasy person that can say start Taysom Hill. I know it's going to be a good week for him. You really have no clue. There is no way to know.
Nope.
It's a risk.
Yep.
I guess the only way is like if you're expecting
if you're down. Yeah, if you're down, or if you're going into a matchup where it's like you should probably lose that game, put Taysom Hill in.
Need the upside.
Yeah.
He's got high upside to come out of that tight end position because you're talking 3 different ways he can make the
I mean, work. He is getting
he can throw, he can catch, and he can rush.
He gets paid like $10 million a year, so it's like he gets paid a little bit. Should I drop Jacoby Myers for Josh Downs? I'd like to grab him for should I drop Roshan Spears?
Great questions, Vito.
This is another 10-person league because it's like the guys you're talking about dropping. It's like
I don't know. Maybe this is. possibly 12. So let's go to the second one because I know we might have some. Oh, God. Okay, second one, I think you got to drop Roshan because you're a King Henry owner. I think you just keep Tajay. Right? I would like to pick up McBride over Roshan.
I'm dropping Roshan if I have King Henry and you have Tajay.
And I love Roshan, so that's saying something.
Roshan's, I'll be honest, he's looked solid. He doesn't look like a better runner than Foreman or Khalil Herbert, but he does look like a better receiver. But it's not going to get enough to where it's worth it.
I don't think I'm dropping Jacoby for Josh Downs. Jacoby's wide receiver 20 on the year. Is there any other wide receivers or any other options you could drop? Because I would really like to add Josh Downs. Do you second that, Alex?
I wouldn't drop Jacoby.
He's been pretty good. I mean, outside of last week, it was a dud last night, I guess.
I mean, McDaniels is to the point to where he knows he's not going to be coaching the Raiders next year, so he's going to try. They're going to try to win games as best as he can. So, and then it's going to have to be throwing the ball.
This is such a dirty question, Norton. I am going to struggle. I am going to struggle with this immensely, but I think the one person I am going to mess up bad here, but there's one person that's already in his spot. Kyle Pitts probably goes there.
What, you're putting Pitts last?
How can you not?
Going forward?
What about going forward makes you super excited?
New quarterback?
You said you couldn't do it in Washington.
But what I'm saying is it's going to be different. Heineke might not be good. He might throw a lot of interceptions, but he's probably going to target Pitts more than what he's been targeted.
I think this is all moot because it's really whatever Arthur Smith wants. Why is Jonnu Smith running so many routes? Like, it doesn't.
Dude, at some point you can't just always say like it's Arthur Smith is not coaching. Like, I don't think
at some point you guys have to just stop hyping up Kyle Pitts so much. No. He is tight end 12 on the year.
Ooh, and you know what tight end 12 like it's terrible with them not even giving him the ball.
He was being drafted as the tight end like 5.
I hate saying this, but I don't love Jake Ferguson.
I do.
I don't.
He's a target machine.
I mean, what did he get 2 games ago? He had like what, 1 catch, 2 catches?
Thanks. Yes, in the game that they got blown out or blew out the team. I can't remember.
I don't know. I hate the Cowboys. Trey McBride, I do like, but it's also there's going to be a QB change. Dalton Kincaid, it's the typical Buffalo. You know, we had multiple weeks last year and the year before of Knox looking really good and thinking plenty of us ranked Knox.
You're right.
Around top 5 tight ends multiple years ago in the season, and just this is what happened, and that's kind of how I feel with Kincaid. I'm putting Pitts above Kincaid at least.
Okay, so what is your order here? Because I'm struggling just as much.
If it's me, this is my order. Trying not to be going forward. This is my optimism. I'm going probably Trey McBride 1. I'm going Kyle Pitts 2. Then probably Ferguson 3 and Kincaid last.
Okay. I think what you said about Buffalo, I completely agree with. So with the Dalton Kincaid, I think this is how I'll go. Jake Ferguson, Trey McBride, Kyle Pitts, Dalton Kincaid. Look, I just need to see it on a week-to-week basis. I am absolutely advocating to pick up Dalton Kincaid if you can. But if we're ranking these guys through 8 weeks, that's where I would probably be.
And guess what? Every week it's going to be the same question, Rob. It's a question, and it's going to be a different result. It's going to be a different result every week. None of these guys are top 5 guys.
What's up, Neek? We have a question from Neek here. Traded JT, Godwin, and Downs for Mahomes. Rashad White and Amari Cooper current team sits at. Okay, wait. I traded JT, Godwin, and Downs for Mahomes, Rashad, and Amari. Okay, got it. I'm there. Current team sits at Howell, McCaffrey, Taylor, AJ Brown, Puka Nakua, Pitts. Is this a smart move? My backup RBs are also Mostert and Herbert.
Good
He
move.
traded away
JT and Godwin and Downs for Mahomes, Rashad White, and Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah. Cooper,
yeah.
you probably not starting, but he might have flex appeal going forward. But you have Nakua and AJ Brown. Rashad White, you're starting with McCaffrey and Mahomes. Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, I think I would too. Mahomes has not been great though. And I think AT might be a buy low right now.
Dude, Moss is just they are.
I think he's technically a buy low too, honestly.
He's good. I don't know what it's kind of crazy. Like he's the guy.
I sent you an offer for him today.
Yeah, I'm like he's good.
So coming back to that question about Josh Downs, he has Tank Dell and C-Watt on my bench as well. I don't want to say drop C-Watt for Downs, but that's the closest one. I
For
think
sure.
Because honestly, I think Tank Dell has a better second half. I think you probably hold on to. I think you hold on to Tank Dell and C-Watt. I don't think you drop any of those guys for Downs. Do you? Do you drop one of those guys? I don't think C-Watt is droppable.
Not yet.
Yes, it's getting close though. It's getting scary.
The thing is, they want to get him involved. He's dropped some balls. He's had some balls overthrown. But he's their number one. They want him to be the number one. He gets separation.
Oh, love that. But isn't he like? I mean, he's probably like 20-6 in every month.
He's talking about Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, he's probably like 20-6 in October. Yeah.
He's 22-4 in September.
Yeah. I need to know what his October stats are. All right, so let's get to
he's Patrick Mahomes in every month of the year.
Yeah, literally could pull that record out for every month. I feel like.
Yeah, find a bad month for Mahomes. Good luck.
All right, so we had a special thing that we're gonna have to kind of go a little bit quicker on now. He's laughing. I called it the halfway whores and spooky success. Who are we talking? Freeman. Royce.
Freeman. AJ Dillon's trash.
AJ Dillon's been fine.
Nah.
I mean, the upside's not great, but I have to think you hold on to AJ Dillon because Royce literally
just
might
because
have
of the offense, you're keeping him. But Freeman to me is better. AJ Dillon's just big.
Hey, if you need 1 week, I can understand going Freeman, but Dillon for the rest of the season for me.
Yeah, so he's a good handcuff.
Yeah, and he's showed some improvement.
He sometimes runs good.
It hasn't been awful, and I don't know what AJ Jones is. What's going on with AJ Jones?
Suck. So the Packers are dog crap.
All right. So who's been the biggest surprise for you this season in fantasy?
Tyreek Hill.
Biggest surprise, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he was going as well, like wide receiver 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, not only am I going to be wide receiver 1, I might break every record this year.
AJ Brown's getting there too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. AJ Brown's I think. I mean, AJ Brown is kind of surprising, but the reason why I'm holding
it is
back
pretty surprising.
Yeah. I mean, but the one thing that's holding me back from the AJ Brown is this is how AJ Brown looked through the first 8 games last season, and then Devontae Smith looked better in the second half.
Really?
Yeah. Devontae Smith had finished, I think, like wide receiver 6.
I didn't realize that AJ Brown. I thought he started off slow and then got rolling towards the end, and that is how it kind of happened.
Yeah, Devontae Smith was a better receiver, I think, the last 8 weeks than AJ Brown.
I think he was a better starting receiver.
Yeah.
AJ Brown, I think, started. AJ Brown closed strong, Alex. 119, 70, 181, 103, 97, 95 was his last 6.
I mean, those are still really good. But what I'm saying is they did get Devontae Smith really involved in the second half.
I think that was all about Goddard going down.
Maybe.
I think the AJ Brown thing, well, I'm not taking away from what you're saying because Tyreek has absolutely been a monster. I just think AJ Brown has been a big surprise too. That isn't mine. My biggest surprise, because it pains me every time I see it, because I was so in on this guy last year, and I was out on him for where he was going this year. Travis Etienne, biggest surprise to me, man.
That's not a surprise.
He has been real good.
Yeah,
he's fast. He's been involved in the pass game. He's been scoring a massive amount of touchdowns. Has 7 on the year already.
It's crazy because you were super high on him 2 years ago.
I was just really disappointed by the pass catching work that he had.
I didn't get it, and there was a lot of talk within our podcast about Tank Bigsby for no reason, per usual. But
I actually don't think our podcast was very strong on Tanks.
Couple people were.
I said he's fine to roster. It's not that I said he might be a little bit of a thorn, but I don't think anybody was getting too crazy.
I don't think they thought he was going to take over Etienne's position. I think we definitely had discussions where they thought Tank Bigsby was going to get more work.
That was a sharp combo.
Yeah, it's just Etienne is that good.
He's been good.
He is that good. Freak.
Who's been a stud, and you fully expect for them to close out as a stud for the second half of the season?
Breece Hall.
Ooh, maybe. He's
good. He was real good.
He didn't have a really great rushing game last week.
Yeah, you're going to have down games on a trash team, but he's good.
That team ain't trash. They just a trash quarterback.
Not trash. Here's the thing. It's like, yeah, their wins aren't – I mean, they had a couple good wins, but they're not a good team. The NFL is just weird this year. Like, the Patriots are terrible and they beat the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that was just to screw over my survivor pool.
It is crazy. Like, this year has just been really weird.
They have really unleashed Breece Hall. I am surprised Dalvin Cook didn't get shipped off at the trade dedeadline. I'm saying that honestly because they have the depth. They could have sent him off if somebody was interested. Yeah. But there's the actual problem is who was interested in paying him $9 million.
No one. And
so the only reason they would send him off is if they took a part of that contract, and they probably weren't. They were like, let's just keep the depth then.
Yeah, at this point, it's crazy to think the Jets could make a wild card. You know, like it's still. I mean,
no, I'm not saying they're locked in, but like their record is what, 5-3. Am I crazy?
That sounds close. It's 4-3.
4-3.
Yeah, and it's like the Bills are 5-2. Like, there's
Aaron Rodgers returning soon.
I mean, I think his timeline is like he could be back by like the last week of the season.
Sheesh.
I mean, the crazy thing is, it's like everybody's like 3-5, 4-3. Besides like the Giants, the Patriots, and Panthers and Cardinals, they're all terrible.
And Chicago.
But
they're all NFC, so you don't get the same luck with the AFC.
Yeah, the AFC is just like a gauntlet. Besides the Patriots, any of these guys can make the playoffs. Like, we talk about how the Broncos have been bad. They can make the playoffs. They just beat the freaking Chiefs.
Yeah, that's their third win on the year.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're technically
they didn't sell off one piece today.
Dude, Sean Payton's a stubborn man.
He's pretty stubborn.
He's a stubborn man, and in his head, he's like, I'm going to prove the haters that I can win with overrated Jerry Jeudy and old man Cortland Sutton.
He's not that old.
He's what?
Yeah, he plays like
30.
27.
Jesus.
I'm pretty positive he's 27.
Is he 27?
Yeah, you're thinking he's 28 now.
He's 28. Okay.
Yeah. Tim Patrick is 30, 31.
It feels like he's been on IR for 4 years. So
he's only been in the league, I think, 4 years, right? Since 2018. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So this is 6 years. So
this is his 6th year. So he's been in a little bit.
That feels like time is
dude. Jerry Jeudy feels like he's been in the league for like 4 years.
He has, hasn't he?
I think so.
What are you thinking here?
I'm thinking that
2020. Yeah, he's been in. They need to get Marvin Hims rolling.
hymns,
Marvin Hims.
like are you
Marvin
talking about
Himothy.
the like testosterone pills infomercials.
Yeah, no, it's Hims because he's
The
him.
Marvin. A girl's like, you can get your Marvin Hims too.
Dude, so a stud that I think we talked about it earlier. Alvin Kamara has been a volume monster.
He's a freak.
And if they keep that up, dude, the thing that's been on Twitter this past week or so is how similar Alvin Kamara's stats to Christian
C-Mac.
McCaffrey's are. Isn't that wild? It's like almost undeniable.
Kamara's
There's not a big
touches.
enough
He's
spread
got like
anywhere.
50. Yeah, they're close, but I think Kamara's got 40 or 50 more touches.
Yep.
But they are. I mean, but here's the thing. That's not really a surprise when every year for 3 years in a row it was Kamara and McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's who do you draft? Do you take? They were going top 3 2 or 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
So it's not that surprising to me.
No, I think a lot of the arguments was, well, McCaffrey's been hurt, but like the way that the stats broke down, the picture that I saw was just, a per touch basis sort of
Both
thing.
super efficient.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I do feel like Kamara doesn't get talked about the same way as CMC, but I just thought it was pretty cool. Trade JT and Waddle for Stephon Diggs.
No,
I don't think I do that either.
Nope. I like Diggs, but I don't think the gap between Diggs and Waddle with JT is big enough going forward.
Is there any wide receiver that is in the elite category this year that you would do a JT and Waddle trade for? Oh, AJ Brown or Tyreek, probably.
Yeah, AJ
That's
Brown. That's
gotta be the 1-2 right now, right? Is Chase there?
Jamar's fine. Yeah, I'd probably do it for Jamar Chase over Stephon Diggs. But Diggs is. I don't think I'd do it. It'd have to be Tyreek or AJ Brown.
So just Tyreek or AJ.
This sounds kind of crazy, but I would almost think about doing it for Keenan Allen.
That does sound a bit crazy.
But it really isn't that crazy. Keenan Allen, recently has just been a monster.
That sounds pretty crazy.
Is it?
I think yeah.
Let's see. He's getting
Keenan's all volume, but no upside. I mean, you look at Tyreek and AJ; they're both all volume with huge upside.
Well, yeah. Those guys are
8 for 69 last week, 4 for 55 the week before, 7 for 85 with a touchdown the week before that. Keenan's good. I don't think this is the trade I would do it. If I would probably do Stephon Diggs over Keenan.
I'd probably do Keenan, and it's a toss-up.
Trade Kupp and Adams for AJ Brown. Woo.
Yes.
Woo.
Yes. I have Monroe, Diggs, and good running backs. Yes.
Yeah, I think I do too. You really freaking locked it, especially if Stafford is out for a couple weeks.
It doesn't matter. AJ Brown's on a tear.
He is on a tear. Who's better rest of season, JT, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, or Kenneth? An order? If we had an order?
I'm probably going – damn. I'm probably going Hall, Walker, JT, Pollard.
Shit.
That's probably.
I think Hall would be. I think Hall would be close to my first two. Probably my first. After that, probably Walker. It's a melting pot of JT, Pollard, and Walker. It's a melting pot,
dude. Besides the last 2 weeks, Walker's been a dog.
Because of touchdowns.
Dude, he's getting hating on. Just always hating on Kenneth Walker.
No.
Yeah, always hate that doesn't need to be.
I would rather have Chase. Diggs for Chase straight up.
I'm keeping Diggs.
Joe Burrow's heating. Joe Burrow is heating everyone.
I know, but it's in theory.
It's heating. I'd rather have Chase. I would.
Diggs.
All right. So Alvin Kamara was the stud that I think just keeps on going. So who are you most concerned with if you own them on your fantasy team, Alex?
Well, you listed a million things.
I'll run through mine quick.
Yeah, I'll do mine quickly. Just Jefferson, obvious reasons going forward. Who knows if he even comes back if they lose the next 2 games? Garrett Wilson. I just don't.
Fine. He's been fine. At this point, what do you do?
With Garrett Wilson?
As a Garrett Wilson owner in way too many leagues, we're already in. We're pot committed, dog.
There ain't nothing you can do.
No.
I mean, you ain't trading him for shit.
It's been fine. It's been fine though. Not good. Fine.
His best games have been his last 2, and
fair.
I think it's just going to be up and
great.
down.
3
I think
of his
it's just
last 4 have been good.
You've got to be worried with him because the last 2 games he's put up starting numbers, and I just feel like it could come back crashing down.
Wow. I am just like I seriously am absolutely shocked that he is 31st in PPR. I am shocked by that.
That sounds about right.
I mean, he has 2 single point games. The rest are 14, 15, 17, 17, 18. And the 2 single point games, 8 and 9. I mean, I'm a little shocked by 31st.
I'm not. I think, and it just worries something where matchup play you're starting him, but be careful. And then Raheem Mostert, they're about to have a bunch of healthy running backs that they all love. And Mostert's been a top 3 running back this entire season. I don't think he's going to get as many touches moving forward, especially if A-Chain comes back anytime soon.
Mostert is somebody I have on this list in another area for another question, but going to all in one show, we have good defense pickups question mark. I think, I really like Pittsburgh Steelers this week. Yeah. The Niners. I like the Steelers this week. Alex is going to hate that comment, but I do. I like the Steelers a lot.
Against Titans.
That's right. You know, Tomlin's going to eat him up.
That's not a bad play at all.
And Derrick Henry tweaked his ankle a little bit.
And surprisingly, the Niners, I think, are like 15th, 16th this year defense?
I don't know. It's not something I've looked at.
They're not good.
So you don't think I could get a first for them? Now that they got
they added a very injured former number 2 pick in the NFL draft from Ohio State University.
All right. So here's my concern list. All the Raiders. I'm concerned with all of them.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy G can't stay healthy. That line can't block. It's a recipe for disaster. Josh McDaniels is a joke. Devontae and Jacoby are freaking studs that are just in what you would probably call purgatory. Just rotting away.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy G and Josh McDaniels. Slightly concerned with Olave. Him and Derek Carr are very much not on the same page. Olave's looked a little rough. Derek Carr is a jerk to him also, so he probably doesn't care. Tony Pollard's on my list. Darren Waller, obviously. We don't know if we're even going to see Darren Waller rest season. Ramondre, I'm surprised you didn't have him on your list.
I mean, he's been bad all year.
I think that's what I'm saying. Like, these are guys that at this point, what do you do? Ramondre's had some up games though.
Kinda.
6, 15, and 13 finishes. Those were his best 3.
Yeah. It's a desperation play. I think Waller plays this season, but he's probably missing this week for sure. And the Olave thing is crazy, dude, because Derek Carr just like yells at him. It's like he's expecting Devontae Adams, like right off the bat. I'm expecting you to be the best. I've never seen
Derek Carr do that with anybody. Never. I don't know what he's doing.
He's Devontae Adams. He's just surprised that he can't read his freaking mind. Like when Olave is like breaking off of a route, it's like, oh, you're not breaking it where I want you to. It's like, dude, you guys haven't even played a year yet. You need to figure out where he's going.
Yeah, eyeliner.
He's just, dude, I was high on him previously, and then the last 2 years just left a stink. He's a baby. I actually
didn't know that. He is a baby. I'm glad I agree. I think he's been he just drives me nuts to watch. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers has the same sort of body language, but Aaron Rodgers is a dog.
Good. Yeah. Good.
It's almost like, okay, fine, do whatever the hell you want. You throw daggers. Yeah. Derek Carr, you're not that good.
I mean, you got to think about it. Derek Carr acts like Tom Brady too, and is not Tom Brady. But Tom Brady's also got that fiery get in your face.
Good.
Derek Carr is like Derek Carr gets fiery and gets in his receivers' faces instead of the opposing team. Like there's no confidence.
Derek Carr reminds me of when I saw Matt Ryan yelling at his teammates. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, like you're a softy, dude. Like we can't take you serious.
No,
he's soft.
Vito asked, will Quentin Johnston emerge this season? Almost feels like they know he's better than Palmer, but wants to feed the ones with seniority over talent. Palmer's
looked better when he's healthy.
And that's not. I think Alex would agree with that. He's not even saying much there because Palmer usually isn't. I mean, he runs fine routes, catches. Palmer is Kadero Hodge meets Richie James last year.
No, he's bad.
Catches the ball.
Yeah, he catches the ball. He gets into pockets where like he knows where the ball, like he can get the ball. He can break the route right. Quentin Johnson is raw. He looks good.
I don't trust him yet.
No, he looks really raw, very raw.
Wow, trade Pollard and Laporta for Kamara. I don't think I do it, dude. I think you hold on to the depth here.
He says he has Kelsey.
I see it.
I do it. Yeah. If you have, what do you mean? Of course you do it.
I don't think you do it.
Laporta is good. Pollard, not so much this year. Kamara,
yeah, but I just
top 3 running back the rest of the season.
If I'm going to trade Laporta, though, I'm going to want to. I don't think I'm going to want to send Pollard with it.
Why not? You're not going to get Kamara straight up for Laporta.
That's fine. Add something else, though.
Yeah, but you got to think.
You're selling so low on Pollard here, dude. No,
who cares? You're getting Kamara.
It's not a who cares thing. You want the best team. You also want to get best value. I think this is not good value.
Value doesn't mean anything if like Pollard is you're
killing your depth.
Dude?
You're completely. You think Pollard's out of the RB15?
I think his ceiling's RB15 going forward.
I don't. Their games have been so weird. I don't.
And it's
I'm not like saying he's going to be a top 5 the rest of the way. They have had some really strange games.
What's Pollard's ceiling in your eyes?
I thought that's what we were talking about.
So put a number on it. What's his ceiling? RB8
is the best like weeks.
That's the ceiling.
As weeks 9 through 17. Is that what you're asking about?
Yes.
Where can I see his best finish at?
Yes.
No, I can see his best finish at RB5.
I disagree with that. I think that's why we're just
his volume. The volume makes it easy.
I don't care.
I mean, the dude had the week last week sucked because they blew out the Rams, so he got 12 plus 1 target. The week before at 22. The week before at 8 and 5. I don't know.
What case are you building?
25 touches in week 2, 23 in week 3.
Pollard, while he wasn't a starter when Zeke was there, was very efficient.
I have him on my concerned list, but I don't.
You should be concerned. He's not even averaging 4 yards. He's not averaging 4 yards a carry.
Jesus, is this another 10 team?
Yes, you're trading Pollard and Laporta. To remind you, Jameson Williams is getting acclimated into Detroit's offense a little bit more, and they just traded for Donovan Peoples-Jones. I don't know if it does enough for Laporta that it's going to drop a lot, but you're trading Laporta. You're selling him high right now, and Pollard, it's not really – you can't sell him high. He's not running very well. Take Kamara all day. No hesitation. Breece Hall, Eckler – what is this? And he has Breece Hall and Eckler as well. Easy.
Thanks for catching up. Buddy. This has been on the screen for a minute here.
Yeah, easy. Then you're for sure doing it. Mario, you agree.
I don't agree. I think I would I do if you did it, it is what it is. I just think you're selling a little low on Pollard.
Who cares?
But if you're not going to use them and you think it's the right move,
you have Breece Hall, Eckler, and Kamara.
The trade. If you look at the trade without looking at the team, it's not a good trade. That's all I guess I'm getting at.
Let's be realistic. Breece Hall, Eckler, and Kamara, those 3 running backs, if healthy, all from now going to the rest of the season, could finish top 5.
But has he shopped Laporta accordingly? Because I think Laporta can pull a ton. He has Josh Jacobs too. Jeez. But the point that I'm saying is I think he could shop Pollard and Laporta for higher.
Matter. But that's what I'm saying. Laporta's not worth that much if this league is like this.
Maybe. But the tight end's different, though. The guys are still starting what?
Dude,
Ferguson?
trade Pollard and Laporta for Kamara. You can do your argument all you want. It makes zero
You wouldn't
sense.
even give me a first for Kamara.
Well, that was
bad move.
I did offer first, didn't I?
Nope.
What did you end up selling him for first?
You said this was your exact quote. You think Kamara is still worth the first?
Yeah, it's called trying to be a salesman.
I know you did it with the Zach Ertz thing. You said we're not with the lingering Zach Ertz. I was like, all right, this conversation's done. We're not going to go.
I'm not doing that from the brand. You're crazy.
I can hear you.
First rounds for everything for you.
That's right. I got to see where you're at. If you say no, we're just move on. We don't have to.
No.
Yeah. All right. We had who is your? We're over time, but I did want to hit these last two questions.
All right.
I know
fast.
weekly you guys talk biggest sells and biggest buys, but let's think of the whole 8 weeks of football, right? We're at the halfway point. Who's your biggest sell high or sell? It doesn't have to be a high or sell through 8 weeks of football.
We did that, I thought.
No, we did concerns.
James Cook. Sell him. It's not even that he's that high anymore, but sell him.
He isn't that high. I bet he took a huge hit, even though it's like it will be one of those hits that he would take in the trade talks where people will be like, well, they just got Lenny. So where people will overcompensate for Lenny just to get him cheaper.
Yeah, I would still get rid of him. I think he's just not going to be getting goal line carries at all.
Aaron, you hustled. He said, I made a crazy trade at the start of the season from a league mate who didn't care, and then it just kept going uphill from there. You for sure hustled.
Can I join this league next year, Aaron?
How much is it?
Yeah, how much is this league?
So James Cook, you're selling for?
Yeah.
Do you have any price? I don't want to put you on spot because I don't really know what
I'd sell him right now for like a flex receiver.
So Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I'd sell James Cook for Garrett Wilson.
Is Nico a flex receiver or better?
He's a wide receiver too.
I mean, is that where he currently falls in points? I guess where I was asking.
He's high-end wide receiver 2 points.
He's no. 16. So he's mid.
Yeah, he was like wide receiver 11 last week.
$10 league, he said.
$10 league.
Yeah, he said.
Where is this retirement home that I need to go draft at?
He said his Venmo is Mario Camera 2. So send it that way, he said. That's what he said.
Pour water on your head the next time I see you.
Good one. My biggest sell, you mentioned him on a concern thing. Every week I think this goes down a little bit, and I hate saying this because he has been an absolute dog. Raheem Mostert.
Yeah,
the dude. I mean, there's not many seasons. I don't know if ever he's made a full season, and he is. Has he missed a game yet? I know that's in a way messed up. He has not missed a game yet. The dude is seeing 73, 51, over 50% snaps every game. He's 31, hasn't been the healthiest. Look, maybe this is the year, but if I could get good value for what he is on the year, which is I think RB3, and I get close to that value, if I get top 10 RB price, I'll do it.
Yeah. It is. It sucks because it's like I want to root for the old man. Because I think efficiency wise, he's like the second most efficient running back in the NFL right now.
Ever or for the season?
For the season.
And his career efficiency is great.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the thing: when he's healthy, he's always running over 5 yards per carry. Doesn't matter what team he's on; he's always running over 5 yards per carry when he's healthy. It's just he's never played a full season.
I don't think he's played a full season ever, right?
Yeah, he's 30. He'll be 32 right after the season ends. I mean, so he
has a piece of his knee missing.
He played almost the full season last year. He played 16 games. And then did 16 at San Francisco. Both years very efficient, but that's what worries me is last year he was healthy and they still use Jeff Wilson a lot. And now now you have Jeff Wilson and A-Chain and Mostert, and it's like they definitely want to get A-Chain involved.
Yeah. And they will, which is week 11, which is right around the corner. I don't think many people are forgetting that, but if you have a league mate that has forgotten that, sell them. Who is your biggest buy low before the second half of the season?
I think he was my buy low last week. I don't know if you can really buy him low anymore, but it was Joe Mixon. I still think he's really undervalued. This is a guy I can see around that RB5, RB6 for the rest of the season. You've touched on, in theory, Joe Burrow typically starts cooking this part of the year for the rest of the season.
We talk about the Patty Mahomes stat. We should really look at the Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow in October and November is probably outrageous. So I think you can still get Joe Mixon lower than what he really should be. Cam Akers, new quarterback. I think they're going to run a ton. And he looks better than Madison. And then DeAndre Hopkins, new quarterback who actually throws the ball downfield. This is a guy I think you can get pretty cheap. He's had one really good game.
That D-Hop one and that Cam Akers one, man. I mean, those are some buy lows. No, I think D-Hop the price probably just skyrocketed and you're not going to want to spend what the person is asking.
I think
that window was last week and you could have just been sitting on a pile of gold if you did it last week. I think you're too late I don't think he's a buy low right now. D-Hop.
I think this is a guy that, he's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. And people are just crapping on him. And even if he doesn't, say we never see what even remotely close to what we just saw this last week.
He said
it's not D-Hop being washed for me. It's this Titans organization.
Well, it's not the Titans organization. His name is Ryan Tannehill.
Maybe it's just all Ryan Tanny.
It is all Ryan Tanny. Ryan Tanny sucks. We've been saying this for 3 years, and he's always done enough to stay as a starter. And then
how good does that make AJ Brown then?
Obviously, really good.
Maybe we should have known this.
The Titans. It took the Titans 2 disastrous seasons from Tannehill to realize that they screwed up, letting AJ Brown leave. Hey, we're gonna trade you, and then we're gonna draft another receiver who's nowhere near as good as you, and we're gonna keep Ryan Tannehill, who is scared.
I just am not completely sold on Will Levis yet. I think.
I get it. But he throws the ball hard and far.
I don't know how hard it was being thrown. It was being thrown semi-far.
Levis has got a cannon. Zip.
Weird. This is weird. I don't know if I knew this love before the start of this year. There's definitely love there.
There's love now.
Okay, so this is newfound love then. What were you saying preseason? I don't actually know. So you can lie to me.
So preseason, I thought there was just nothing. Nobody knew anything. He was at Kentucky and he had one good season. One season he didn't look very good, but he always threw the ball really, really well. But it was also you don't know. He could have been a bust, and he still can be a bust. But the one thing that was consistent is this guy zips the ball. He's got good spin. He's pretty athletic. But I think most people thought he was really dumb.
Yeah.
The dude puts mayo in his coffee.
I think that's going to automatically trigger people to think you're an idiot.
Yeah. All right. He's a mouth breather, but Peyton Manning sounded like one too. So
don't keep going back to Peyton. There's no more of this, dude. Here's some buy lows for me that the window may have passed on this first one. Javonte Williams. Maybe the window passed. Maybe people are still low. And I bought him for Miles Sanders about 2 weeks ago. Feels great. I think they're going to depend on him quite a bit. Not super efficient this year. Jaleel McLaughlin has looked way more efficient, but they just 20. I think he had 27 rushes last game. The ACL training wheels are about to come off, and we're going to see a workhorse back. I don't know if that means efficiency, but I think he's going to get get to pound the rock, especially because they didn't make any moves with these wide receivers. So it's going to be Russ and Javonte. James Conner could be a sneaky sneaky buy low before trade. Comes back in a week or two. Zach Moss, he's got to be kind of a buy low right now, right? Like, how sustainable is this? I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm like, I kind of want in on the Zach Moss trade, dude. Dynasty, redraft, all of it. I'm like, I kind of want in.
He's good.
He's just been good.
He's good. I'll be honest, he looks better than JT, but JT's going to get touches because they just paid him.
And JT's catching up to speed. He's catching up to speed.
But Zach Moss is like a really good running back. When you can block a little bit for him, he's good.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder, like, what they're not using him, right? JT's been back. He had 12 for 95 in the first half, and then it was just Zach Moss second half. I don't know what the hell happened. I think something with JT, maybe his ankle in the second half. I don't really know, but I think Zach Moss, I would be making a trade effort, and I would start low and see how high it gets. And I'll try to keep it low. Like, right? Like, are they ever going to stop using him, especially with Gardner back there?
I think they're trying to keep JT pretty like healthy. I think they think that Irsay is ignorant enough to believe that they can make the playoffs.
Here's the weird part about Zach Moss. I think he'll be 27 by the time his contract is up. I thought I saw that. So like for Dynasty, because I think it's an interesting aspect to look at for Dynasty. He's locked to.
He's 25 right now.
For whatever reason, he must turn 26 this season because on this contract site, he got to turn 26 throughout the year, and then he'll be 27 as
December. Yeah, he turns 26 in December.
Dude has to be 20, so he'll be 26 on the free agent market next year. I mean, the dude can, for dynasty purposes, he can land somewhere and be a dog.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely going to be on a different team next year because somebody's going to.
Can he be on Carolina next year? And would we like that?
I don't know, dude. After Carolina
can he be on Houston?
Yeah, they go from Singletary to Zach Moss. Hey, let's get all the Bills scraps. I don't
Zach
think
Moss is faster, better.
Also, I like Zach Moss. He looks good behind a good offensive line. And it's running backs to where it's like, what are they going to offer him? $4 million a year? Probably. I'm saying teams in general. I mean, Carolina, is paying Miles Sanders 6-7 maybe a year?
6.5 or 6.25.
Yeah, to where I don't see a team like that doing it. It just sucks, dude, for running backs because it's like every draft you're like, I can get the same guy.
Well, they say that, and then it just doesn't work out, and then they look stupid. Because it doesn't always work out.
For sure.
I mean, and sometimes these RB. I mean, the dude might have 1,000 yards this season. This is very possibility that he gets a nice spot. Anyways, I think he's a buy low for redraft, especially. I think I would.
Yeah, he is a buy low for sure
in dynasty.
Yeah.
Last question, and we'll hop off here. Man, we went almost an hour and a half. Sorry, Alex. Would you trade Pollard, Flowers, and Higgins for Tyreek and James Cook?
Pollard, Flowers, and Higgins for Tyreek and Tyreek.
Yeah, you want Tyreek.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Tyreek. If you can get the best player in fantasy football at any point and you're not giving up the world, you do it.
It just is always, look, upgrading the position is always what you want to do. Just understand the risk that's involved with that. You lose Tyreek to an injury, it's going to make your depth
trade Cup and Adams for Jamar Chase. Probably not.
What did you say yes to? What did you say yes to this earlier for Tyreek?
Yeah.
Oh, it was for AJ Brown.
Yeah. Unless you have crazy depth at wide receiver, I'm probably not doing that. I
don't like sending both those guys off in general. I know you said a for sure yes on the AJ Brown one, but I don't even know if I love
Adams that. Is so buy low right now, you don't sell him.
Except for AJ, you said AJ Brown and Tyreek. You would.
Yes. If you're getting the number one,
I don't know if I would 100% do that.
Yeah, I can't sell Devontae Adams where he's at right now unless we're getting an actual upgrade to the position.
Here's the thing, and I don't think you could sell Kupp necessarily right now either, unless you for sure see that Stafford goes to IR or something, right?
Yeah, you're keeping Kupp. And even then, dude, even if Stafford goes to IR,
Thanks for tuning in, Travis.
You're still probably keeping Kupp right now. But yeah, I wouldn't do it yet.
All right, let's wrap it up here. Tomorrow we'll be back. It is Norton and Robbie. They'll do some buy and sells. Thursday we got our weekly DFS and hot or nots, studs or duds, starts, sits. And then Sunday we'll be back for some live start sit. So if you have some questions, make sure you get them in before Sunday. We'll be live Sunday. So I don't love packaging Kupp and Adams here.
I have Rock, Diggs, Adams.
Like package
No.
Package others like Deontay and
Deontay's a sell high probably.
Deontay and Godwin for somebody. Just keep kind of packaging up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to really send Kupp and Adams just because I wouldn't want to make that team better.
No.
And again, I think I hold out on the AJ Brown thing. I think that's still too much. It depends on what happens with Stafford. So you're kind of one of those things where you're avoiding risk, maybe not avoiding risk. I don't know. But we'll be back. Tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. We'll be back. And then Thursday, 7 and Sunday at noon, all Eastern time. For myself, for Alex, we love you guys. Peace. Thank you for watching our episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
If you aren't already following us on Twitter, check us out at DadBodFS.
We'll be posting all of our best clips and videos to all of our social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on there at DadBod Fantasy Squad.
Lastly, if you'd rather just listen, we make sure we post our audio of each episode on all the major streaming platforms. Stick with us all season long so together we can count our trophies